Hi, this is Steve Wozniak from a little company called Apple. And I really do care about Montreal and Quebec from my times visiting there. And tonight was sad for me watching the Canadiens lose in overtime. But I am so privileged to be able to address you students of CFP des Riverains. I can't speak French, and I don't do that well, and I appreciate what you have. I wish I did. I'd know a lot more about the world. I myself grew up wanting to make the world better with engineering skills. But, there's so many other disciplines, that are so important for change. Look at any company and how important is the business thinking? How important is the marketing thinking? What things are worth? How important, the accounting, the operations, how things are done, finances. It gets into a lot of disciplines, so it's very rare that one discipline can override the others. In my college years, I knew I had great skills in the digital framework of the world, but there was no way that a human then could afford a computer. Computers gave the wealthy companies all their power over us. Still, I wanted my own computer someday. I wanted normal, average people to have that kind of power and do so much in their own life they couldn't do without it. And in those years, when I was, coming up as a skilled engineer in the digital world, there were no cell phones yet. There was no internet. There were no smartphones. There was no cloud. Almost everybody saw the world, how the world would be some future day. Nobody could see to the day we have to now. I mean, when we started Apple even, the amount of memory that held one song cost better part of $1 million. You wouldn't look ahead and say, oh, we're going to have devices with 5,000 songs on them. It was, you can only see ahead a short distance. And we all kept taking steps within our abilities, and our genius to move ahead with change, moving towards change, trying to make things better, and someday we'll hit the big home runs. When there is change, many look back at things that they feel were better in the past. But as an engineer, an inventor, I was going to make change, so I had the attitude that change was always good. The before was good, the after was good. They were just different. The people might not do things the same way or understand each other, the other ways, but that doesn't mean that one side is bad or, an old is bad or a new is bad. And in college, I found that I had great intellectual freedom, could wander bookstores, and with a little extra money from a job, I could, buy manuals to computers that you could never see in a bookstore. When we're young, we have greater mental energies. That means we think better than when we're older. And we have greater physical energies. Stay up late at night solving a problem, to make something work. And, anyway, my passions really, truly excelled in the college days. I studied hard. I tried to be the best in my classes, and in some ways, the best in the world. First, you need to know what your passions and your drive are. How do you intend to make a difference? Second, you need skills. Some come from academics and classes, but if you have great passion, you can learn even more on your own. Education will continue far past school, so be prepared and accepting to it. And the internet is always a good friend if you just want to learn on your own without having to get a grade and be in a class. And third, you got to have some vision and say, this is what I want to do. And now that I have the skills to do it, I'm going to do it. In this modern digital age, there is a huge space for smart people to make a difference in life nowadays. Okay? Good ideas lead to good companies. Entrepreneurship was not even a major in business schools when I was in college, but, forming new businesses was still a part of business school. But since the start of personal computers, with companies like Apple and Microsoft and Google and Facebook coming out of college students, entrepreneurship became a goal of many young people. It's an exciting idea. And before that, it was just mainly seasoned and experienced executives in companies and managers who would spin off a new company. It wasn't thought that young people coming from nowhere had those skills, but the digital world has really given us a lot of that. New products that change things tend to introduce fresh new wealth. You've been taught that, not taking it away from others, not a zero-sum game. And that's the reason the goal of creation and startup companies is good. But I will tell you, if you're ever in a startup, even with a fresh project in an existing company that's a startup, it will be the hardest working time of your life, but the most fun ever. Don't let your passions be wasted, even when you have spare time. Is life about accomplishment? To me, life's about happiness. Around your age, I came up with my own formula for life, and it's how you feel. Happiness equals smiles minus frowns. I call it H equals S minus F. Happiness equals smiles minus frowns. Find out what gives you smiles and what you enjoy in life. It might be music, it might be certain people doing certain things, and try to pursue that. Jokes and humor can always make you smile. And get rid of frowns. Don't look back. I mean, when something goes wrong, don't look back and try to find the causes and blame it. No, simply say, what do I do from this point on to march forward constructively? And anyway, this formula, I figured out really good ways to do that. Don't even argue with people. You're only going to frown, and frowns aren't a good feeling in life. You want to feel good. And so my formula guaranteed me a good life, even if there'd been no Apple or anything like that. My last word to you is going to be to respect the many teachers in your school and staff, because what they're given to you from their experience and with their know-how. And someday, you yourselves should pay it forward by helping teach or advise or mentor younger people from what you have learned and experienced. Good luck.